Hey, welcome to Weld.com, folks. I hope you're having another marvelous Monday. You are looking beautiful. I'm going to weld this great big gap horizontal. No, I'm not. I am going to weld these horizontal. We've been doing a series of pipe runs on 2-inch schedule 80 with stick welding, shielded metal arc welding, 60-10 roots, hot pass, fill passes. Haven't decided what we're going to do here on the cap here. May try to do half with the 60-10 and half with the 70-18 just to show you some techniques and settings and travel angles and stuff like that. I have these pre-prepped. Camera guy gets some good footage here. We clean the inside and we have cleaned the face, and we put about, actually that's close to a 3/32 root face or landing on there. Okay, for spacing, I like them a little bit tight. I don't like them quite this tight here unless I was running a 3/32 60-10, which we should mention. That's I like this just a little bit loose. I like them in between the two of them so that we can carry our root in here. We're not undercutting or blowing up the top side with our keyhole. We'll get into technique here in a minute. I'm going to tack these. I'll tack one at the top, probably a 1/4 inch long just to hold them together. I'll rotate it 180 degrees. I'll put another tack in there and I'll equal the gap on both sides. Tack one of them. I'll leave one of these open, one side open. It'll run quick enough, pipe doesn't have time to move. All right, we're going to put this root in here. I got to hit my bifocal. I got to get in some kind of position here. So I want to strike an arc right in front of my face. I need to be up here. I want to drag this in reference to the center of the pipe, and I want just a very little up angle on my rod. So I'm going to do this. I want to get over here and kind of get pre-cocked and come around here like this and just run the root. I'm not going to be stitching unless I have to. If the keyhole opens up and I need to step out of it to make it freeze, I may do that. I like to just kind of drag them in there and maintain the keyhole going around. So let's see if I can do this. I also have a longer glove just to spark rester for my shirt. So let's give it a go. Okay, I just came off my tack. I can see my keyhole and I can see it going in. Now I just have to make a transition around the pipe. I need to hit this with a grinder, a thin bladed grinder. I want to cut this out a little bit so I can blend into it. I need to work this tack over on the back side so I can fly through it and blend into it. Probably hit that stop right there. Okay, I haven't touched this part yet. All I've done is work my stop over where the keyhole is. I've worked this tack over and thinned it out. I intend on just kind of blowing right through it and consuming it when I run the root, or the rest of the root, I should say. And I thin this start out in here. So I'm going to set this back up and continue on with this run here so that we can restart right where our keyhole was where we stopped, come around here and tie into where we originally started. We completed the root pass and we have cleaned everything up. I'm pretty confident. I didn't look inside. I should have, I guess, but now I'm getting ready to run a hot pass, and I've turned my machine down 5 amps. You heard me correctly. I turned it down, not up. But I'm going to run 3/32 60-10. And the reason I'm going to do that, and I do that a lot even on uphill welds. The reason I do that is I feel like I can control the amount of fill better with a smaller rod and still run nice and hot. The purpose of the hot pass is to blow out any slag edges that you may have. I can kind of ground these out and buff them out, so I'm not really worried about trapping any slag, but I want to run this smaller rod and strike an arc and just do a gentle stitch, or like I like to call it, as a little J move, or back to JL. When I step forward, I come back up and I pause longer right up here at the top inside the bevel, and I come down and stitch forward again and just kind of hold it up. And the reason I like to do that is because I want this weld profile to be nice and consistent and flat with the pipe and with the bevel. I've seen a lot of people run their hot pass, and when they get done, it looks like they pointed their rod down here. They got most of it down here, and they've got this big old valley up here on the inside of this groove. And to me, I think that creates problems. I like to keep it flat with the pipe. So I kind of went ahead and started back here at the back, and I did something. I know we've talked about this before. You'll see me bend rods sometimes, and I'll put them in weird angles and stuff, because to me, it's just easier to rotate my wrist. But this is such a small bore pipe, you gotta move. And so what I did was I kind of started back here, and I think I passed the camera guy right over my right shoulder over here, and I had enough to keep right on going, so I did. And I reached around the backside and finished up. So I'm gonna go clean this up, buff it off, see what we got. Kind of looks odd because my slag is hanging down here on this bottom side. I wasn't doing anything of a big technique. I was actually watching the pool. There were times that I was kind of doing a diagonal. I mean, I'm not weaving, but I'm moving side to side, so technically call it what it is. But there's times I'll do this where I'll just hold it at the top and I'll come down at a diagonal. I'm watching the pool. Sometimes I'll reverse that and hold it up this way. Sometimes I'll lean it forward. Just it kind of depends on what the pool's doing. But I am going to go hit this with the wire brush power. I wanted to see what's going on with this tie-in right here. Make sure it didn't have any porosity, and it does not. I'm going to go hit this with a wire wheel and clean it up, and we'll inspect it. I can tell you this pipe welding, especially small bore, you got to move, and I'm not a mover anymore. I'm getting old. I got a little bit of lack of fusion back here, just a speck of it. I'm just slightly low. I could have filled that up a little bit more. I was running that 3/32 as a hot pass, fill pass, and I could have paused and waited for it to fill just a little bit more, but we're not bad. It's laid in there pretty good, just a couple of edges. Again, I'm getting to the age where I'm not sharp on my eyesight, and I'm not flexible and move around like you young guys are, but the technique, the angles, all that stuff's still the same. I want to take a peek. I want to go in and cut this and see what we got on the inside for the root. So let's do that. We'll come back and finish this out. Okay, we went over to the Evolution saw there and cut this open. It's a little flat. I could have waited a little bit longer on my root. The edges are broken down and it's fused. I don't see anything that alarms me as far as a huge defect. Again, I could have waited and traveled a little slower and built it up on the inside. Wish I could turn back the clock and make these real pretty like I once was, when I could move smooth. Somebody on camera set here is going to make a joke about that. Anyway, you guys can do this. It's not, just practice and pay attention to the travel angles, pay attention to the travel speeds and whatnot. Small diameter pipe has always been a little difficult for me because of the fast move. It just, things happen so fast, and I'm not into that game like I once was. I'm not making an excuse, but it is a reality. These small bore pipes take precision and, you know, to make them come out and make them look really, really smooth. You got to do a bunch of them and be able to move, be flexible. I hope this helped, and if we can help you in any way, please contact us, answer some questions, or encourage and motivate you. Again, you can do it. Thanks for subscribing to Weld.com. Hit the notification button. Please check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks a lot.